So, hello, I'm here with Demonaz from Immortal. First, thank you for the interview. My first question is War Against All is the 10th album of Immortal. What is your vision of this album on your complete discography? It's like a mix of all Immortal album.
Well, the goal is the same as always, to try to make a better album than the last one. That's what we've been doing from the start. And sometimes it works and sometimes not. I think the plan this time was just to do as always. It's like the first song I wrote was War Against All, a fast song I'm used to writing for the album. And then when you have like 2-3 songs, your plan is like, the vision is like getting clearer, and suddenly you have like 5 or 6 songs, it's like, and then you have to find out how the balance is going to be on the album. So I don't think too much. I think you never have a plan, or you never have a concept which will change when you make the album, and in the end it's all about being satisfied or not, I think. Yes.
Yeah. In this album, we have a track who make reference of the album Battle in the North. The song Black Search My Throne. Can you tell me the link between the original track and this one on the new album?
I think whatever I make, it will sound immortal, It's like,
Yeah.
it's like my guitar riffs are the sound of Immortal. And everything is based on guitar riffs. And sometimes, I go back and listen to the old albums, and it gives me inspiration. It's like I was listening to Battles in the North. I made the War Against All track based on that song in a way. And also, there's a certain type of riffs, there are like this fast battle type of riffs, and you have the more open string riffs, which is also can be used by blast beats. So on the Black Search My Throne song, it's like a long Immortal song, like I've done 1,000 times or a lot of times. On the last album there was the Mighty Raven Dark track. This one is a bit in the same way, but it's like it has a bit different. It's more open in a way. It's not so closed. It's more like an open, free song.
Yeah. And what was the creative process for this album?
I think it's the same as always. I sit with my guitar and make all the music.
Okay.
At least on this last album. So it's like, I'm a guitar player. It's guitar. I make everything on guitar. I don't make music. I don't write music. I write music with my guitar and the riffs. So, and after that, normally I spend a lot of time with the lyrics to find the moods and put it all together. So the creative process is the same. It's me sitting down, having all these ideas and trying to make some sense out of it.
Yeah. I think your last show, you do your last show 10 years ago. Have you planned to do a promotional tour or just special evening like Beyond the Gates Festival, Inferno Festival?
Maybe. I think that this is something we are going to discuss when the album is released. We have a meeting with the management, and I will look at the opportunities and find something that makes justice for the music. So yeah, I'm open to that.
Yeah. The album contained an eponym song called Immortal, like the band. Can you explain this choice? It's like an homage to all of your first fans or something more profound?
I always had a plan for making a song called Immortal, but it never happened. And when I brought those riffs into and worked with this song, I decided I had an old lyric, which was a lyric with the title Immortal, and when I was working on this song, I understood that it's going to be this one. So maybe because it has a lot of old riffs in it, like and it's a mix between of maybe everything except the acoustics. So yeah, I think it has a signature sound, or a signature signature work. So I'm proud to call that song Immortal.
Yeah, okay. Have you planned to shot some clips for the album?
Yes, actually, we're doing that now. So yeah.
And can you tell me for which title?
No.
No,
I don't want to
keep
tell
secret. Yeah.
you. Please.
How was the production process with Ave Isdal in the production?
Always an honor to work with him. He's like the best guy to work with. You know, it's like he has a really genius understanding of guitar work and guitar playing, and he's like, yeah, he's like the best for me. He understands the music, he understands all of it, you know,
Yeah.
and it's very easy to pull through ideas and get it to sound the right way. So yeah, I'm definitely like 100% satisfied with working with him.
Uh, in my opinion, the track "Return to Call" make me think of the album a mix between "At the Earth of Winter" and "Bloodfire Death" by Battery. Can you explain me your influences for this track or the complete
Return
album?
to Call was the second track I wrote for this album, and I had the riffs for some time, and yeah, I really love that song. You know, it's like
Yeah, it's my favorite one for this album.
for me, it's like yeah, one of my favorite songs. I think it's like when I wrote this song, it was not. I wrote the main riffs and acoustics, and the rest just came. You know, it was like sometimes you make some riffs, you put them together, and you get this flow. You know, and it it nearly made itself. It was like
Yeah.
instantly when I knew how I was going to sing on it, it was like it just opened up. So I think it was like a pleasure to work with, and it was a song that I didn't use so much time in writing, really. Not the longest one. But what I like is I want the music to be insisting. You know, it doesn't need to have so many riffs, but you need to work on what you have so that you don't get off track. You know, when you listen, you can be in this song, and you can focus on it in a way.
Mm. The song, sorry for my pronunciation, Nordlandier is the
Yes.
longest song of the album and the only instrumental song. Can you explain me this choice and the place on the album of the song and the story of its song?
I wanted to. I had a lot of riffs, which um, I was making a demo because I made a demo for every song before I go to the studio. And this song, I love to listen to all those riffs every time when I was walking outside. I put it on, and it was like I was going to make vocals on it, but I was thinking, no, this is a song that you should have put on your ears when you're walking to the mountains or whatever, because it's like. And then all these ideas came to make it instrumental with the acoustics and everything, and I loved working with it. You know, it's like some kind of freedom, and I think the song is like it's not the most black metal song, but it's like a very moving song in a way.
Mm.
It's like I thought if I put vocals on it, I will kill it. You know?
Mm. And what is your relationship with wilderness and nature for this album? Still the same like always?
For 4 years ago, I moved from the city, 3.5 hours away from the city, into the Hardanger, which
Mm.
is in the wilderness, and it's like mountains with snow on the tops all year round from where I look. So I live by the foot of the glacier, and it was a long dream to find a house like this in the mountains. So for me, it's like an ever inspiration. You know, I walk outside all the time. I can walk from my house to the glacier. It's like a long time dream come true. So I'm so inspired by living here, and yeah, that's what inspires me. You know, the nature, the weather, good or bad.
Yeah, it's beautiful landscape. I just imagine that. After this instrumental song, the next track is Immortal. When I listen to the album, I receive this song like a slap on my face, for true.
Good.
After Nolander, can you explain me the choice of the tracks and placement on the album?
I think the placement of the songs is always very important, because whenever I start to write an album, I never write songs. I start always to think about the whole album, like the side 1 and side 2, like a vinyl, right? Or side A and B. So it's like the list of the tracks and how they come numbered is very important. And I thought that after 5 songs, an instrumental would do it, because then you will get some kind of break, you know. And then I wanted the album to go in again, to be fast and intense, you know, so that you don't lose the track. And then at the end, I think the idea came from Blood, Fire, Death in the beginning, that on our first album, Diabolical Film Mysticism, there was a song called A Perfect Vision of the Rising Northland. And that was a hymn, is what I call it, a big, long song, you know, huge song. And I like the idea of do that. We've been doing that on a lot of albums, you know. On All Shall Fall, there was An Earthly Kingdom. On Sons of Northern Darkness, there was also long song at the end, and on Nothing Kills Gods, it was The Mighty Raven Dark, and the same this time. I like to end the album with a big song.
Okay. Can you tell me more about the artwork conception and who made it?
I had an idea for the cover, so I made a note, and we were contacting, my management was contacting several artists, and we got some sketches, and from this guy in Sweden, Matthias Frisk, we got a drawing which was like, okay, he's gonna do it. That I just felt it in my stomach that he could do it. So I cooperated with him. I sent him some mails, sent him the ideas, and he came back with this painting with the face of the mountain, and the face of Blushwick in the mountains, and the ravens, and yeah, all of that. I thought it was brilliant, you know. Yeah, and I like the colors.
Yeah. What is your current vision of the black metal scene, or especially the Norwegian scene?
Well, I think it's a bit hard to answer, because the Norwegian black metal scene was really good at the point earlier, and there's still some good bands, of course. But now it's like, when I listen to music, you know, when I listen to old school music and music from earlier, I listen as a fan, or I listen as a, you know, the music that you like. But now, in these days, you know, I listen to music like you analyze the music in a way. It's harder to get it under your skin, you know. So it's harder to be a fan of the new music.
Okay. Being one of the most important Norwegian black metal band, don't cause you some pressure when you release an album?
No, not really. I've been doing this for 30 years. I think I know what I'm doing, you know. It's like, but I cannot, you know, if people don't like it, if the album doesn't convince them, I don't care. You know, it's like I can't do anything about it. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do my best, and I'm trying to make the music that I like, and I always done that. You know, it's like with Immortal, it was never, we never tried to get an audience. We never tried to commercialize the music, or try to sell a million albums or something. You know, I make the music that I love the most, and what gets me through, you know.
It's the most important thing, in my opinion. Have you planned to release a second solo album?
No, not at the moment. You know, the solo album was like a side project. I had a lot of riffs in. There was a time when Immortal was on ice from 2000 and I really don't remember it was in 2001 maybe or two, and then I sat with all these riffs and I was thinking, what am I gonna do? Make a solo album, and I made all the songs, but then we got the band back in 2007. So I didn't record this solo album before 2009, I think, or 10, and it came out in 11. It was a side project for me. It was like I love the Battery album, Blood on Ice, and I also love Manowar. So I wanted to make something heavy, you know, just like a heavy metal album. And that was March of the North, you know. March of the North is like I love the album, you know. I think it's great. I think it's a survivor, but I don't have a plan to make a number 2. Maybe if I get too much time.
I talked a few months ago with Nick Roberter from Mayhem and Benny from the band Mysticum about the tape trading, little tour on little stage, the self-made. Are you nostalgic of this period?
Yeah, you know, I started tape trading very early. It was like I don't remember the year, but it was like that was how I got into this music. Tape trading, buying these small fanzines, magazines, long time before the underground, a long time before any of those bands got famous, you know. And I felt really alone about it when I was living in the city and you couldn't buy metal records where I came from, you know. It was impossible. You have to order the records from Sweden, from this shop in Sweden or in England, because there was no metal records available, at least not extreme metal. So I was into tape trading and demos. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Great time.
So, thank you for the interview. Have you any final words for who listeners?
Yes, I hope they will stay with me. I hope they will like the album and that it gives them something. And yeah, I'm looking forward to start writing on the next one.
Okay, thank you so much.